recall. I was at a friend's house and we all had fallen asleep on the couch, and I woke up and I had my best friend strung across to me. She was laying on my right and she just had taken over the entire couch. And we had another friend on the end of the couch, Wyatt, and I kind of woke up and he saw that I was awake finally. So he turned to me and he was like, dude, your phone's been blowing up all night. And I was like, really? So I look at my phone and I had had a few missed calls from my mom and quite a few texts. And so I called her back, sorry, I was sleeping, what's up? And she told me that my brother, my stepdad, had gotten in a head-on car crash by a drunk driver. So I kind of just paused. I didn't really know how to process it. I was just so taken back by it. And I, of course, asked the normal questions. Are they okay? Where you guys at? How bad? And she said that the car was destroyed. They were at the hospital. My brother was fine, but my stepdad got hurt really bad. So I go to the hospital and I check on them to see how they're doing. And my brother was fine, but I walk in the hospital room and my stepdad's arm was in traction. And so I asked him, are you okay? Like, what happened? And he said that he got hit head on. He got as far away as he could, but the guy just was drunk and he fell asleep at the wheel. And so I just was so taken back by it. It was just a very scary experience. I'm sure everyone here has had experiences with a drunk driving accident, whether you see on the news, a story I just told, a loved one, a friend, family member, someone. I'm sure you've heard of any drunk driving accident, even if it was in a movie. I know 3 people in my life who have been involved, whether they were the one driving or they weren't. One of them I know he's currently serving 17 and a half years in prison because of it. I'm not going to stand here and tell you to not drink outside of your home. That's not realistic. But I'm going to tell you some precautions that you can do to make sure your night is safe but yet fun. Some things that you can do are take someone's keys if you see that they're not well enough to drive. Give someone your keys if you know that you're not okay to drive. Give them your keys, that way you're not tempted. Call an Uber if you know you're not okay to drive. Why do we need to lessen the number of people who are hurt each year? What are even those numbers? According to DUIUSA.drinkdriving.org, in 2007 in Oregon, 17,096 people were arrested in accidents due to drunk driving. That breaks down to 356 per week. In Kansas in 2007, according to the same source, there were 12,080 arrests due to drunk driving. That breaks down to 251 per week. We also need to lessen the number of accidents due to drunk driving, not even just arrests. According to a 2002 study by Thompson and Richardson called DUI Arrests and Academic Attrition, in 1999, 34,000 college students were in drunk driving accidents. They also were arrested, but there's a lot of students. A Who and Baker article called to examine the effect of China's drunk driving policy. In 2004, 268,000 people died due to drunk driving. As a society, we need to lessen these numbers. They're just outrageous. But how can we do that? Well, give someone your keys, or if you see that someone's not okay to drive, take their keys. That way they're not even going to have the ability. I'm going to show a video of a man that I know. He is currently serving 17 and a half years in prison. Excuse me.
I exit my cell to go to the dinner room and make a phone call to call my family. So I'll take a seat in the TV area. And of course the news is on and the top story is a fatal collision. And I didn't want to watch it. So I kind of just leaned forward, I buried my head in my hands. And I'm listening to it, but I'm not really listening to it. And I think the best way to describe what I was feeling in that moment was deja vu. Obviously, it wasn't because I had been in this predicament before, but rather I was subconsciously recollecting the countless newspaper articles I had read over the years. The plethora of news coverages I had seen where this very thing had happened to so many people before me. And yet, in my tangled web of self-deceit, irrationality, and excuse-making, I had actually managed
is Martin Lockett. He is currently serving 17 and a half years in prison for a drunk driving accident that took the lives of 2 people. As you can see, he had himself convinced that it could never happen. He had simply just given up his keys, or he had conceded and allowed his brother, who was also in the vehicle with him, who was sober, to drive. None of that would have happened. But if you can't get someone's keys, or you don't have your keys to give to somebody, or that's not an option, call an Uber, call a taxi, call somebody else to drive for you, or have a designated driver. According to Catherine Hanna in her article, Old Laws, New Tricks, Drunk Driving Autonomous Vehicles in 2015, at some point in the future, there will be cars that drive themselves. And while that sounds like a good idea, you don't have to actually drive your own vehicle. You can just sit back, relax, enjoy the music. You don't actually have to do anything. While that may sound like a great thought, it's not actually true. Just because the car can drive itself in simple situations doesn't mean it can do it in a split second when a car cuts you off and you're intoxicated. You can't grab that wheel and take control in a matter of seconds. While someone might be really mad at you in the moment because, hey man, I gotta get home, those are my keys, like what are you doing? When they wake up the next morning, they're not in a hospital, they're not in jail, and they're alive, they'll thank you for it. How can this look in the future if we do nothing? Well, if we don't do anything, we don't try to help anybody, the death rates will continue to rise, there'll be more and more accidents, more and more arrests. The news will continue to not be a very pleasant thing to watch because it's just going to be full of sadness. But if we intervene now and we get involved and we help people make safer choices, there'll be less deaths, there'll be less accidents. The news will be a happy thing to watch because it won't be filled with so much sadness and just sadness. By following these guidelines and acting on them, we can change the lives of people around us for years to come. By taking the car keys of someone that we care about or that we see and just on the street and we know they shouldn't be driving, if we take their keys, even if it means we have to tackle them, that's okay. They'll thank you for it. If we have to give up our own keys and it might take a little longer to get home, that's okay. At least you'll be alive in the morning. If you have to call yourself an Uber or call somebody else one and spend that money, that's okay. You'll still be alive in the morning. If you see someone who shouldn't be driving, and they are, try to get them out. Try to prevent them from doing that so they can stay safe. By taking action, we can save people's lives for years to come. Thanks.